A pleasant good morning to everyone being here. It gives me immense privilege in welcoming all of you to this wonderful seminar on the topic Future of the Connected World, an Innovative Challenge. On behalf of Industrial Internet of Things Club, Institution Innovation Council, and Industry Institute Partnership Cell of Jansons Institute of Technology, it is a great pleasure to welcome the dignitaries from Factana Computing Private Limited, Bengaluru, Mr. Hariharan Ganesh, Founder and Chief of Factana, Mr. Sarvesh Gupta, Senior Engineer of Factana, Mr. Kiran, Application Developer of Factana. And indeed, my pleasure on welcoming our beloved Chairman Sir, Rotarian, MPHF T.S. Natarajan, our Vice Chairman Sir, Mr. T.N. Kalaimani, and Mr. T.N. Thirukumar, our Principal Sir, Dr. B. Nagarajan, our Vice Principal Sir, Dr. S. Ilangovan, Director Administration, Dr. M.V. Suresh Kumar Sir, Heads of various departments, faculty members, and my dear student friends. The function of prayer is not to influence God, but rather to change the nature of the one who prays. Now, I request the gathering to raise up for the prayer song by Hari Priya of 2nd year CSE.
சீராரும் வதனமென திகழ்பரத கண்டமிது தெக்கனமும் அதிசிறந்த திராவிடன திருநாடும் தக்க சிற பிறை நுதலும் தரிதலரும் திலகமுமே அத்திலக வாசனை போல் அனைத்துலகும் இன்பமுற எத்திசையும் புகழ் மணக்க எழுந்த பெரும் தமிழனங்கே உன் சீரிழமை திரும்பி எந்த செயல் மறந்து வாழ்த்துதுமே
Thank you everyone. Now I call upon Ms. Madhumita, our final year DCE, to unveil the chief guest profile.
Good morning all. Our research person, Mr. Hariharan Ganesh, is an IIoT evangelist and Industry 4.0 explorer who founded Factana, the cognitive IoT company. Prior to Factana, he was a member of technology advisory at Aspire Systems for digitally connected businesses. He also acted as a director at Architecture and Integration Services at Greater Chicago. He was a part of various esteemed organizations like Mascan Global, NAPTEC, Unisys India, 10 Planet Technologies. His academic profile includes Bachelor of Applied Physics and MS in Information Technology from Bharatdasan University, Computer Science graduate from National Institute of Information Technology, Executive Program in Internet of Things from MIT Sloan School of Management, Cambridge, United States. He is an author of the book titled Oracle AIA Foundation Pack 11C R1. He is having 25 plus years of experience in providing engineering, architecture, integration, and information solutions for enterprise customers. Fogwind is a next generation industrial IoT platform engineer with features to build IoT solutions for various industrial use cases. Using this platform, IIoT is simplified with well-crafted capabilities to connect, collect, analyze, and automate. We are very much honored to have you along with us, sir. Thank you.
On this occasion, I would like to share a hearty congratulations to the Factana team for getting awarded as the high performer in the Small Business Grid report for IoT management for the Fogwind IIoT platform from G2. Can we have a wide applause from GTNs to the successful team of Factana. On this note, I would like to invite our respected Vice Principal Sir, Dr. S. Ilangovan, to honor the chief guest with a token of love from our end. Thank you, sir. Invitation of a beautiful street is an invitation to walk within a dream. Now, I invite our Honorable Chief Guest, Mr. Hariharan Ganesh, Founder and Chief of Factana, to enlighten us with inspiring thoughts to shape our future for the innovative world.
Good morning, all of you. Hope you all had a good breakfast. I'm not going to make you sleep now. If I'm making you sleep, get up and ask me a question so that we will make others also. Right? So, thank you so much for welcoming us, and thank you so much for all the honors here. And of course, thanks for all your appreciation on our best performance. So, just a brief introduction about us, who we are and what we are doing. Little more on our technology side of that. Before we go into the chapter for today, the future world. And I'm sure it will be excited to all of you on what we are going to see in 2013 and 2040. In next 20 years, how things are going to change. I'm not going to introduce myself. Already a good introduction about me has done. So, company, of course, we are Factana. We are started with the intention of driving technology change for the future. So obviously, the interesting part for us was Internet of Things. I think most of you or some of you attended our academic programs. Some of you are already aware of the IoT. We are specialized on industrial IoT. So I'll talk about that, what that means, and how it's going to change the world. We are investing heavily on the IoT and AI technologies to change the industries to adapt the new and modern way of automating processes. We as a company, initiated in 2017, 5-6 years back. Initial 2 years we worked on thought process and defining what business area, business focus, and what technology, how we are going to solve the challenge, or what challenge we need to solve, all this stuff. And then later we started building our products. Of course, most of you know that Forming is our foundation of the product, which is an industrial IoT platform. And on top of that, we are building different application systems to solve different use cases for the industry. So we are more on IoT-based application development company and building solutions for different industrial cases. Of course, some of you may not know the detail of this, but generally, we are making applications for industries, different applications, different use cases. As we talked earlier about the Industry 4.0, it's a new transformation happening across the industries in the global level. So we are making that transformation easier with the help of our technology solutions that we are supporting to our customers. Of course, we have office in Bangalore. That's our primary office. We are having an office in US, Chicago as well, to address the US market. We are opening a new office in Chennai in the month of June, July. That's our timeline. The work is going on. So we are looking for more talented people in all over the places, and we are investing more on our product innovations, R&D work, and development. So we welcome all of you to be part of our journey. So I titled this as a revolution because I'm going to talk about some history stuff, which some of you may hate, but it's going to be an interesting one. And then we talk about the future, because before we talk about the future, right, what is going to be 2030, 2040, we should know where we started all of this, right? We know the root of that. Then only we understand the depth of how we are changing from where we started and where we are today. So, and of course the subject is all about connected world, and we are IoT company. Obviously we'll talk more about IoT only, right? So we are going to talk about how connected world means, what does that mean, and how things are going to change. Of course we are already in the connected world today itself, but it's going to change as well. So it's a question before I start. Sir, you talk, then why are you asking question, right? But this is the foundation for all of us. So can anyone answer what's our first innovation, human innovation, first human innovation. Which one we first innovated? Super. How many of you? So others are not agreeing. Okay, if that fire is one team, what about others?
Wheel.
Huh? Wheel. Oh, how many of you wheel? Wow. Okay. So we created wheel first or fire? Okay. Anyone else? Any other option? Others? No innovation? How many of you say that we did not innovate anything? And we can't answer it. Some people, please. How many of you innovated in mobile or found mobile? Somebody? No? Okay, so good answer. Fire. But is that a first innovation? Did we innovate a fire? Or it already exists? Then why you answered fire? Okay, if that is around that, right? Did we innovate the wood? No. Did we innovate the stone? Then what is that we innovated? Fantastic. We innovated a tool to create fire, right? So fundamentally, we started creating fire with the concept of tool. It's a tool for us to create something. And this is where we started. This is where we started. So everything, anything that you are using today is all tools. It's all tools. Your gadgets, your food, your home, whatever you are doing it, everything is a tool to do something for you. So this started as a tool of innovation from everywhere, right? So and then we went from here to all the way to wheel. So you can see the difference between the previous one. When fire was innovated tentatively, nobody knows that number correct or not. Okay, so the BCE, so 400,000 BCE. So, but after that we innovated wheel, we innovated iron, telescope, microscope, then electricity, telescope, and so on, so right. So in the history of that, we have I just listed key ones. There are plenty of innovations. If you look at that, fundamentally everything to solve some problem, correct? To solve some problem, to make it easy for us. So it's all about how we can simplify a challenging one with the help of tools, right? And we continue to innovate it. So every innovation is to solve some problem, and every innovation is nothing but a tool. So we created the tools. So tools is the fundamental for all of us, and then the history of connected. Of course, this subject is connected world. So without touching connectivity, I cannot go further. So I don't know how many of you seen these diagrams, these images before. Anyone looked at that? What is Chappie signal? Anyone aware of electrical ticker? Yeah, only few people older than us probably aware of that, right? So many of you may not even know that electrical ticker. Harmony, telegraph. How many of you are aware of the word telegraph? Only professors as so the younger generation not even aware of telegraph, right?
They know telegram.
They don't telegraph. Oh, they don't telegram. Yeah, they're not telegraph. Oh, WhatsApp everybody knows that. So we started with the telegraph. What does that mean? In 1840s, for us in India, it came around 1950 only. We are always 100 years delay, always on any innovations. So in early days, not now. So in early days. So 1950s, we started using telegraph. That was the only way to communicate from one place to other place using messages. Electrical pulses. We send electrical pulses from place to place and reading from the electrical pulse and then writing it and then sending a message to somebody. That was a telegraph. So we started with telegraph and then we landed in voice calls. How many of you seen that black phone before? Apart from professors, our age group. Anyone seen the black phone? Any parents used in the platform in your home? No? Oh, good. So that's a dialing phone. You need to then it will go. It will take 5 minutes to reach the other side. So it came from voice call, right? So today we are using like a WhatsApp, just instantly one click we are calling it. Think about that, from where we started, from the signal of symbols to all the way to the voice calls, right? Today we are doing voice messages, right? So we are not even doing voice calls, we are doing voice messages now. So it came all the way to that. So the connectivity is there in the history. So we always love to connect with people. We always want to reach people, more people. We always want to communicate with each other, right? So connectivity is the foundation for us. And because of that connectivity only we have grown as this much mature, and then the technology advancement, the need of tools. We continue to innovate more tools because of we are connecting, we are reaching more beyond our limits. So we are keep growing beyond our limits. And beyond our limits in the sense from the current limit to the next limit, right? And there is always limit. Once you reach that level, you always feel that something is stopping you. Then you innovate again. So this is going to be a continuous. The human evolution is based on the innovation only. And we have innovated tools, correct? So, I don't know how many of you looked at this number. So, everyone using internet, correct? Everyone using internet, right? So when internet came, when you first time you used internet? Many of you. First time used internet. How many of you? 10 years back? How many of you 10 years back? Oh, good. Good size. Fantastic. 10 years back we started using, but you look at that 1989, the first website launched with www. That's the first HTML page. So how many of you learning HTML? You are still in 1989. So you need to move faster. Okay. So if you say that I know HTML, that means you are in 1989. So we are in 2020, 2022. Okay. So you need to move forward. So don't say that I know HTML. You are still even before your birth of that, right? So let's move forward. So HTML is the foundation for the internet, and we are moving forward from there. So this was also the revolution in the industry, right? So internet has changed completely how we connect. Previously we have to make a call to connect to people. Now with the help of internet, we are connecting to people. We are sharing information instantly, or we can even publish ourselves in the internet and then get it, reach to more people. So internet has changed the entire world, the way it was operating. Before internet and after internet, our age people, we can clearly differentiate that. And we were talking in the morning also, before internet how it was, and after internet what happened. Information is available to you, and it's rapidly available to you because of the internet. So how the world has changed from voice or telephonic calls to the internet. It has changed that every industry into significantly, right? So today without internet, anyone can live. Going to remote place, no phone, no connection, no internet. One day, just 24 hours. You guys cannot. Huh? You can. Fantastic. Oh, super. So 2 people are there. So, and moreover, yeah, only 2 people. You guys are turning back. Who is that? So, but we did not stop there, right? Oh, internet came, HTML came, web pages are there. Oh, did we stop there? No, right? So we moved from there to more. We want to connect more people. So year 2000, the change has happened. Like, the social media started evolving, and that makes us to connect freely to more people across global. It was limited with the internet, just HTML pages, we sharing in limited information, fixed information, right? With the help of social media, we started sharing more information instantly. So this word, Nokia, connecting people, is one of my favorite things, because the year 2000, when handphones came, Nokia made this as connecting people. That's the foundation of that. Connecting people is the fundamental for us from the age of BCs. So connecting people is the telecom, the wireless telecom has changed the way that we were talking, reaching people. And obviously added with internet, emails, and then social media that added all over their flavor. So if you look at that, every 20 to 30 years, there is a revolution happens in the world. The technology is moving to next level. And that technology is changing the complete lifestyle of us. From a telephone line to the internet, and then from there to the telecommunication. It's completely changed us. And that's what is going to happen. That's what is happening now in 2020. Now we have reached the people. We are connecting things. Of course, I have reached all over the place. But I want to connect to my things. What is things? How many of you? Any things? Give me one thing that you connected with. Phone. Everybody connected with. Apart from that, I answered it. Okay, no, that's not the answer. Next. Any other thing? What is thing? Hey, some of you attended IoT training and all. Yeah, come on. Okay, that's one thing. And what else? Practical, in your day-to-day things. Apart from mobile phone, I know that that's an easy answer. Apart from mobile phone, what other things that you are connected with? All the electronic gadgets, super. Then, that's a general answer. Just give me one example. I'm sure more than phone, you are all connected with one other thing in your home itself. Smart TV. Smart TV. Then anybody else, anything beyond that? Like remotely starting bike? I think it's there, right, already? How many of you? Anybody? No bike? Remote starting bike? Anybody has anything like vessels in the home vessels? Connected? Bluetooth itself, just a remote. That's fine. Bluetooth. Wi-Fi. Wi-Fi is the gate to reach the internet. What else? Come on, sound. I'm not getting it.
Electric bikes.
Air coolers. Wow, okay. That's a good answer. So anything, right? So you, of course, mobile phone, TV, air cooler, bike. We are getting connected with things. Anything and everything. I'm sorry. Smart watches, super. Smart watches. So, the thing is, anything and everything. Of course, you are not connected with everything. That's what I'm going to talk about. You are going to connect with everything. From your watch, your glass, your bike, your shirts, anything. Your home door, vessels. You are going to connect with everything. It's changing. The world is changing because of the things, the Internet of Things. And that's what we are going to talk about the future, right? So the future is going to make you to connect. Now we are going beyond the limit of connecting to people. We are going to reach connecting to the machines. Tools, as we started with tools. All of that we innovated as tools. And we are connecting with the tools. Now, machine and we are going to talk each other. So, you can take any tools that we innovated in your thought process. Whatever you think that's a tool that we innovated as human, we are going to connect with that. So we are going to connect with the workstations, cities, outside, traveling, everywhere it's going to be connected. So connectivity is going to increase beyond our limit and going to help us to scale and meet the different things. But in the Internet of Things, it's a broader term. Like if I say that you are all going to have internet, right? Then your next question is, what is an internet, right? Because internet is kind of a word that's an ocean. It's an ocean now, right? You are all going to be using internet means, you'll think, what is that in internet? Similarly, this is going to change. The IoT is become the next internet revolution. So it's going to change the way that we today live. it's going to change in a two different category on that. And the reason why I have this presentation, you need to understand what is that we are focusing on as a company. So from the Internet of Things, there are two kind of internets. One is the industrial Internet of Things, another one is the consumer Internet of Things. Your home appliances, your bike, your home, wherever you are traveling, all of them are your personal connectivities, right? And you basically connected with all of them. So that's all called consumer IoT. Generally, IoT means people will think that that's what it is, okay? And the second level is more on industrial side. The factories, the electrical grids, the machines that we sit in the factories, right? The cities, the car, everything is going to be connected. It's all industrial connectivity aspect of that. So we as a company focusing on the industrial connectivity standpoint. Our products and technologies are focused more on the industrial aspect of that. We are not working on the consumer side of that, but there are a lot of good innovations are happening in the consumer side of that as well, right? So of course, IoT means, what is that? Of course, you know that I'm connected with TV. I can start my TV from my phone, Bluetooth or wireless or whatever it is. I am connected to my bike. I can start the bike. Future, I think it's already there. Maybe in some time, in 5 years, you are going to start the car from remote. So it's all connected. But how is this connectivity is happening? What is required to connect all of them? So this is where you have to focus on, right? So when we are talking about Internet of Things, as I said, Internet is already reached its scale. The Internet of Things is the next beginning, and in this beginning, you're all going to live in that world, the IoT world. But IoT has become a kind of ocean, and in that there are many different technologies involved. So as an engineering profession, you are all going to work in any one of the area or most of the areas in the future. So next 10 years, 20 years, you are, by default, it's not your option. By default, you have to face this in your life. So to make Internet of Things happen, there are many different technologies involved in that. From the sensors and controls. How many of you know what is sensors? Electronic students will say that sensors easily. Give me an example of sensors. You faced, you worked, anything? Okay, what is the purpose? That's a model. Temperature sensor. Okay, next. Okay. Moisture. Water level sensor, fantastic. Ultrasonic, superb. How many of you know how sensors are working? Anyone can answer it? This is not an interview question, this is not an exam question. It's basic things, don't take it as that. So, how the sensors are working? Some people are relaxed, comfortably. I'm going to point and ask. If I see that you are sleepy, then I'm going to point and ask you. Yeah, how sensors are working? Come on, wake up. Fantastic, fantastic. Converting physical parameters into the electrical signals, right? So sensors are converting. That I can also say that physical means the physical point to the digital point, right? It's converting all of that. So these are sensors, right? There are different type of sensors. Whatever you guys are listed as very easy low-level sensors. When you go to the industry cases, there are many different sensors. There are more than 5 lakhs type of sensors are there. Each and every sensor has a different category, different parameters, different reading capabilities. So it's a huge ocean. If you just read the sensor itself, it's a huge ocean to read. And this involves electrical, chemical, and then the mechanical parts of that. So it's involved all three of them. So sensors itself is a huge technology innovation, and it's growing significantly by creating different things. Challenge for us in our cases is the sensors most of the time. When we get a requirement from our customers, and when they want to do something like measuring some value on the machines, some parameters from the machines, the biggest challenge we break our head is on the sensors. There are different varieties on that. We need to pick and choose the right variety to identify the right use cases. It's a complex selection process. So sensor is a huge market, huge innovations happening, and also it is significantly reducing. The cost of that is significantly reducing. Because of that only, you are able to do that. In your phone, when you take your phone, you have a fingerprint reading, right? It's because of the sensor innovation only. That's a sensor. Because of the innovation, you are able to read it. Your phone can detect you are walking, you are running, all of that. How it's happening? Because your phone has that sensors inbuilt with that. You may not even know that you are using it. Your information is going to your health portal, and then it's showing that yesterday you walked 5 kilometers, today you walked only 0.5 kilometers. How that is coming? Because of the Internet of Things. Because the data, the sensor reading the data, sending to the cloud, and you are getting that. So the sensors are crucial for Internet of Things to get the physical information and share that. The next biggest thing is how we are getting the data to the internet. Sensor is only a sensing part of that, right? It doesn't have any other communication capabilities. Of course, we can attach with that. So the next level is the gateways or routers. What is that we call as gateways or routers are you simply like your Wi-Fi routers. Simply access to like your Wi-Fi routers, but these are all very specific to the industrial cases. We don't use your home routers for the industrial cases. We use the industrial routers. So it has a different capability and things like 4G connectivity, 5G connectivity, or even simple wireless connectivity, different network protocols, all of them there. So we use gateways. So now, if you should know the sensors in the Internet of Things. You should know how the physical, chemical things are working, right? To understand the sensors. Then you should also know that wireless or wired or networking to understand how the routers works, correct? Then next level is you need to take the data to somewhere and processing it. That's where the cloud technologies are coming into. So you should know the cloud technology, how to store the data, how to process the data, how to identify the different information out of that, how to analyze the data, how to extract the juice out of that. And then you need to present it to the people who is interested on that. Then that's the interface, digital interfaces. So if you look at that, sensor, chemicals, mechanical, electrical, then networking, then cloud technologies, then digital interfaces. You have to invest in every sectors on that. From all your engineering majors, covered in this, right? From chemical, electrical, electronics, communication, computer science, everything is covered in this, correct? So you have to have that level of knowledge. Of course, you may not work all of them, but any one of the cases you have to work on them in the future. So 10 years down the line, you are going to work on all of these areas. By default, without your conscious decision whether you want to work in Internet of Things or not, you are going to be there. There is no other option for you. As without expecting, you suddenly fall into the Internet. Now you will fall into the Internet of Things. So the future, right? So how the technologies are going to help. So end of the day, it's all about communication, right? It's all about communication. If you look back why we are doing all of this, we want to reach more, beyond our limits. We want to go and reach more people, which already we have almost done. We are almost connected with everyone. So many followers in Facebook, right? YouTube channel, so many followers are there. Either we are following or somebody is following us. Either way, somebody is following you. If we use this word following 20 years back, it was kind of a wrong word. What? Following? What is that? So now it's following is a prestige thing. How many followers you have? Right? So following is very prestigious thing. Now, how many things are you connected? It's going to come. How you are going to connect it? So how many things, gadgets you are using, which you are connected. So it's going to be a change in the way that future is. That the connected world is going to go beyond humans. It's going to reach the things, which includes the earth materials. So advancement in sensors is happening. You have to invest your time in computer hardwares. computer hardwares are changing the way it works. And I remember that, I had my first computer was this much big. Monitor itself is this much big. That table and all, you should have a big size table to hold it. So today, computers are as small as your palm size. So the hardware innovation is continuing to happen. And when you moving more into the innovations, the size of that is going to come down. And it's going to come in a smaller chipset that fit in your body, and then it can sense all of that. Or it can even communicate back to you, to all of that. You don't need to hear, you can feel. So that hardware components are going to increase, so you can invest your career in that. You can invest your career in sensors. If you are interested in chemicals, sensor manufacturing is the biggest market that you can invest. If you are interested in electronics and communication, you can invest in hardware, or you can invest in wireless network. 5G is going to change the world. You may not know that now. If I say that something is good, you may not know that until you taste it, right? So 5G is going to change the world. The way that you are looking for 4K content is okay, but I want 8K content, so that's what is going to change. The 5G is going to create more content, more connected things. So anything and everything that you do, every step of your life, you will be connected with something else once 5G comes into the picture. So you can invest your life in 5G network if you are interested in networking. If you are interested in all three of them, you may invest in edge computing, which is again going to change the world. We were talking about cloud technologies. Of course, many of you know that. How many of you know edge computing? Anyone? What is edge computing? No idea? So edge computing, in the sense, whatever you are trying to do in the cloud, right? Cloud is where? Somewhere, correct? Somewhere the data is there, somewhere the server is there. Edge is going to be nearby. You don't need to take the data all the way to the cloud. Let's take, when I say cloud, it's a data center. Physically it's a data center. That sits in somewhere in Singapore, Mumbai, Delhi, US, Europe, wherever it is. That's our cloud, right? It's far away. That's why it is called cloud. It's far away from you. But edge is going to be nearby, which is a small miniature level of computing power that located very near to you, maybe 10 miles down the line, maybe in the same place where you are, but it's going to have all the processing capability that you have in the cloud. It's going to process the data on the locally. So that's edge computing, which is a combination of wireless network, computing hardware, and sensing powers. Obviously, cloud technology, I don't need to talk about that. I think everybody knows what is cloud means. Anyone doesn't know what is cloud means? Should I explain cloud? No need to. Shall I ask question, what is cloud? What is cloud?
Data store.
What is that? Sound.
Storing the data.
Storing the data. Okay, what else?
Once a
What is cloud? Yeah, then I need to talk about cloud also. Come on. Storing the data, then any other idea? So whatever it is, right or wrong, it's don't hesitate, okay? Very first thing you need to do when you are getting into the job, you should not hesitate to talk. Right or wrong doesn't matter. You have to talk. If you are not talking, you are not going to be successful. So talk. Access from anywhere. Okay, that's good answer. Then, what else is cloud characters? What is cloud? That's accessing. Same. Then, so storage, accessing that. Then what else? What else? What is computing? Oh, read or write. Okay, fantastic. Then that means include processing also. So cloud computing is also for processing, right? How many of you using YouTube? Watching YouTube regularly? That's all. Hey, don't like. Come on, guys. I need everybody to raise their hands. Without YouTube, we cannot live. So how many of you know that how the data is coming from there? How you are watching that video? You only watch the video, right? How many of you know that how things are happening there? Because that itself is a cloud. Somebody uploading video, somebody from there downloading video. How many of you uploaded video in YouTube? Super. So when you upload the YouTube, what is that is saying after you just loading, your videos there? It shows something to you. What is that? Before it's published. So when you are uploading your video, there is a processing engine there that processing the data and validating it before it's publishing for others to access it. So between storing and retrieving the data, there is something called processing is happening. The cloud computing is fully powered by processing. You cannot have that processing in your computer. Your computer is not capable of running that level of processing. That's why the cloud computing has that processing capability, which is the advantage of going into the cloud. To use the high power, high processing machines to do that content processing, right? So similarly, cloud computing is the processing of data and sharing the information. Obviously, when I'm talking about processing the data engineering is coming into picture because you need to process the data, convert the data from video to other format and then storing it, retrieving it, all of that. Your WhatsApp messages are not stored somewhere. Anytime you can download your video, your images, videos, right? So you can still download that. So data engineering is there. Machine learning is there. Obviously, when you upload your wrong code of data in YouTube, or when you upload your image inappropriate in YouTube, automatically detects this and deleting it. Correct? So obviously there is a intelligence added into that. Correct? That's part of the machine learning process itself. That's part of the machine learning to understand what content it is and how it should act on the content. So there is an intelligence on it. And then, of course, your mobile app is downloading the video, how the video is streaming to your mobile app from the cloud. Of course, through internet. What's the answer? How many of you, see when you're using it, don't you think about that, how I am getting this video, how the video is coming in what is the format it is coming, how my mobile app is rendering that. Have you thought about that? Anybody has any idea? How the video coming to your mobile. You are all watching videos in YouTube. Every one of you. How the video is coming to your mobile. Anybody? No idea? Is that coming like a string? Integer? What is that? What is that? URL. URL is the path. So how is it getting? You are saying yes, URL is the path to get that. But how the data is coming? So you guys go and explore it. This is the exercise. Before using any gadgets, going forward, think about that, how that works. This will improve your creativity. This will improve your creativity, how that works. What is the way it works? You learn about that. Not just watching the Pushpa songs. Just to know that how the songs is coming into that. How the song is downloading. What is the format it is coming in. That's the way you need to build your creativity. The more you learn, the more you do on that. You understand that. So you go and explore it. I'm not going to answer it, okay? If every answer I find giving, no. You guys go and explore it, find it out, and then you report to your professor how it's happening. I will instruct them to get that answer. I'm not going to leave like this by yourself. So professor, I will instruct the professor, everybody should write about that. How the YouTube stream the data to your mobile phone. Go and explore it, give a small write-up to your professor. Every one of you. It's a basic things, right? We are using it and we don't know how we are using it. That's not correct. Everything we should use it, we should know how it's working. Anyway, so interfaces. The interfaces are for streaming the data, of course. And then the app that you are using is rendering the data. It's a digital interface that rendering the data. Finally, the robots. I hope everybody aware of the word robot, correct? Right? Robot means, okay, what is robot? Answer. What is robot? What is the purpose? What is that? Humanly thinking. Oh, you're going super fast. Yeah, it will have that capability. But what is robot today?
Multiple tasks.
Good answer. It's a tool. I answered first itself. It's a tool to do some task for us. What else? Any other idea? So robot means you have like a human, or it can be anything robot. Anything is a robot, right? So it's need not be like a human like that. Anything that do some actions based on the instructions is a robot. Correct? Yeah, it's a small scale robot, may not be like a super scale, but it's a small scale robot. So robots are going to be there. So why I have listed all of this? Why we are talking about all of this? Because all of this are required for the future of communication. You pick your career in any one or multiple areas. These are the technologies that you cannot avoid in your lifetime. You have to go through this. If you are in engineering and you wanted to grow your career, any one of them you can select and go, or multiple things you want to select and work. But you can't avoid it. So all these technologies are required for Internet of Things. As an Internet of Things company, we are working at all these technology skill sets. We have to work on all the technology skills on different level, different things, because we have to solve the problem for our customers. So as part of our journey, we are learning all of that and exploring, still a lot more things to learn, lot more things to understand, but this is all, you cannot avoid it. But when I am talking all of this, right, I'm talking about Internet of Things, I cannot skip artificial intelligence. Now the next question. What is AI? There are a lot of answers on that, so I can ask each one of them, I will get a different answers. How many of you know about AI? Only few are. Hey, come on. Good. Then all of you answer. What is AI? Artificial intelligence. Super, fantastic. After that. Okay, what is the purpose? If you know the purpose, that's the answer. Right? To make a decision with available data. Fantastic. Next. There is one key purpose of AI. One key purpose of the AI. So analyze the data, identifying the decision. We can also do that, right? Then what is that AI special on that? What is that? I'm not hearing. Okay, giving machine the human brain. Okay, for what? Self-thinking. Okay, the intelligence. So, when you talk about artificial intelligence, right? The purpose of that is our brain can think super fast, but we can only use our brain up to 7% maximum, not beyond that. So there are a lot of things, calculations that we cannot do using our brain. We are not practiced to that. Of course, we are capable of doing that. We are not practiced to that. So the artificial intelligence is a machine that thinks beyond the compute, beyond the need of our brain, and coming up with some intelligence answer for that. By teaching that, by training that, we are getting something that we cannot even imagine or think about that, the value of that. So artificial intelligence is all about, driving intelligence out of that, which we cannot even scale and think about that. So of course it should be fed by us. So the future of connected world is not going to be just IoT, it's going to be attached with artificial intelligence. Means it drives the intelligence to automate it. Everything that we did so far, from the tool, from cracking the stone to create a fire, then later point they made a machine out of that, just automatically turn on, then it's cracking and making a fire out of that. So similarly that's automation, right? So everything we try to do that today is automation. Everything we do that is automation. If you are taking your bike and reaching a place, you are using the automation machine to do that. That machine, as you throttling, it start going based on your throttling speed. So there is the automation is happening on that. When you throttle the engine, the wheels are started rolling it, right? So it's a super fast. So that means there is some automation is happening. So everything that we do that, every tool that we innovated, now we are not just innovating the tool, we are innovating the automation behind that. So automation is the foundation. But automation need our instruction. When you are throttling your bike, then only your bike is going. Correct? If you are thinking that I want to go in 40 km speed, Your bike will go today. Is it possible? No, right? You have to give action, physical action. But it is possible. That's what AI is going to do that. With the help of IoT and AI, this is what is going to happen. When you think, it takes you there. How many of you know Alexa? So when you command Alexa, Alexa is responding back to you by recognizing your voice. Correct? When you tell your bike, hey bike, go with 40 km speed. Your bike is riding in 40 kilometers. Aram se. So in that case, that's a intelligence added into that, right? Which is going to come. Maybe in a couple of years, 3 years, 5 years, it's going to happen. When you think, you are transmitting that information to the things, whatever you are using, the tools that you are using, and that get acted to that. So the power of AI is to automate it, and the intelligence is added to the machines. Machine understand our language, machine understand what we are thinking, what we are speaking, machine can execute things automatically. So the AI and IoT is going to be like, mother and father. They are going to sit there and then they are going to dominate all the things that we are talking today. So from the healthcare sector to the to the industry, even education, autonomous vehicle on everywhere, right? Manufacturing, all of that, right? Everything is going to be automated. So the more we are getting into the comfort, the next innovation is more on automation. Already automation is there, but it's just automating by itself. It's not listening to us. When you get connecting that IoT into that, it starts listening to us, right? When we are sending a command, Alexa is kind of IoT device. I asked initially, nobody said Alexa is IoT. So IoT is going to make that communication happen between you and your machines, and seamlessly. And that means you are giving instruction that acts to that. So it's part of that. So intelligence is part of that. That's going to drive the value on that. Why we are investing on IoT as a company? As a thing, we are looking at it this is going to be the future. As I initially said, how internet has changed the world, the IoT is going to change the world. IoT and AI is going to change the world. I put together, right? So in that case, there is some prediction on that. By 2030, over 25 billion things that are connected to you. Each person will be connected minimum 1,000 to 5,000 things in 2030. Right now, many of them, knowingly or unknowingly, we are connected with many things. We may not know that. Similar way, we may not know that how many things we are connected in 2030. So it's going to be a multiply by 5 times, 10 times from the current state. So which means that every one of us is going to be by default connected with some things. Every gadget or machine that you are using is going to be connected with you as per your instructions. So the 2013 is going to be like, it's going to be fully on the connected things with the 25 billion. 2013 is also a year for revolution on autonomous. How many of you know autonomous? Autonomous courses, you know that. But what is autonomous in the field? What is autonomous in the field? Self-decision, fantastic. Any other answer? So self-decisions, how self-decision is coming? By intelligence. How the intelligence get added into that? By doing connecting with that. So connectivity, intelligence added to that to give the power of autonomous. And that's what is driving the world. By the way, probably you may know that, right? Autonomous is going to drive the world, so everything. You already know that connected cars are there. You already know that connected cars means, I can watch my car where my car is. But it's not autonomous right now. It's already connected. That's the Internet of Things. But it has to be autonomous. So the autonomous innovations are already happening in the world. It's only time to reach us. So autonomous transportations. Right now, you go and take your mobile phone, you book Ola. Okay? Ola comes in sometime, whatever time, wherever you are. But if you think, I want a Ola, then Ola will come. Ola will already know that you are going somewhere. They will come to you. You don't need to book. Based on your pattern, where you are going every day evening, Ola will come to you. and it will detect that you don't have a bike today. Your bike is in mechanic shop. So you need a Ola. So you don't need to worry about that. You don't need to book Ola. Ola will come to you, and that Ola door will open, and the car will tell you, you don't have a bike, get into the where, and I will drop you in somewhere in nearby. So you don't need to do that. So autonomous car is going to change the transportation. Everything from the car, bike, one time you may get your bike to come to you. So even now it's possible in US. We are using cars in US which can come to us. If I go out of the auditorium and I say that come to me, it will come to us. It's called summon. So we can you park the car somewhere, 500 meters away. But if you stand here and then you say that your car come to me, car will come to you. It is possible today in US. It's not going to take much time to get into India. Everything is happening there, it's happening here also at the same time. So autonomous transportation. From the car, from the train, flight, whatever you call, everything is going to be autonomous. Everything is going to be autonomous in the sense like it by itself. It has an intelligence, it has a connectivity, it understands things, what is demand, what is a need, it will do by itself. You don't need to command. Similarly, agriculture is huge industry that's changing into autonomous. As we grow, as we are staying away from agriculture, obviously the machine will take over and do the job. Of course we need a food. We cannot avoid that. Right? We need a food. But autonomous is going to take it. It's already there. It's not like a new innovation is going to happen. It's already happened. It's only adoption is the delay. It's only adoption is the delay. So autonomous agriculture is going to happen, which means that the seeding, the plucking, the removing the weeds and other things, everything is happening today itself. Today itself is happening. Even in India, some places it's happening using technologies. So it's right now it's more remote. It's more remote based, but it is going to by itself. The sensors attached with the vehicle can detect the weed by identifying that with the help of AI, ML, and then it plug that, and then it can count how many weeds is removed. It can store the data. It can give the reports. You don't need to do that. So autonomous agriculture is one area that significantly growing. Autonomous manufacturing is already happened. It's already happened. Manufacturing companies do not need a workforce to do all the work now. Everything is replaced by the machines. And those machines are, right now it's remote operating machine or operated by somebody. One person can operate the machine that do the 10 people work. But that one person also is not required. Don't ask me where we are going to go. We have some other jobs. Okay, so we will not have these jobs. So the low labor jobs will not be there anymore. Everybody is going to be sophisticated life in 2013 or and beyond. So autonomous manufacturing is coming into picture. Already is in place. Even in India, there are companies are autonomous manufacturing companies which does not have very less resources, and the machines are operating by itself, and then they are making things happen. So autonomous manufacturing is happening. It's a huge autonomous area. The last one is helper service. The helper service is the robots, the intelligent robots that fulfill the day-to-day duties. I don't know how many of you watched any video. Of course, you're all watching videos, right? How many of you watched a Samsung kitchen, smart kitchen? No? You watched? Great. How many of us know about that people, right? Go and watch. I give you one more task. Go to YouTube and watch Samsung smart kitchen or Samsung autonomous kitchen. You don't need to know cooking. There are things that are coming to replace your kitchen. Your wife is not going to cook anymore. Machine will cook for you. As per your flavor, as per your spiciness, that will accurately add it. So it's going to come. So the helper services there. Even today, a lot of places the helper services are doing a significant role, especially the critical areas are dangerous areas like chemical factories. The machines are going and doing the inspections instead of human going and doing the inspection to avoid the things. So autonomous helper services are significantly changing. So you are going to witness in 10 years down the line that most of things are going to be autonomous. So you can invest your career in autonomous. It's a bigger area, right? As I talked about, it's about IoT, AI, data, engineering, sensing, chemicals, mechanical, all are involved on that. So it's a huge area. So industry is going to move towards autonomous. So everything is going to move towards the autonomous, including other things also. Slowly other things will pick up and go from your Ola service to all the way to your flying, or you are using metaverse to virtually, looking at everywhere. You want to go to Malaysia, you don't need to go to Malaysia. You can experience from here itself easily. But I felt going Malaysia is better than metaverse. But you can even experience it before even going there. Let's take a simple example. If you want to go to somewhere in some other town, today you take a mobile phone, you look at in Google Map where you are going, what is available there, where I can stay, what I can eat. All of them you are looking at that, right? That's one level of information, right? The same way, you don't need to go to the physical places. Before even you go there, you experience it. Then you go there, so you know the place very well. So you are going to experience it first and going there. That's part of the innovation also, right? So autonomous is going to change the world everywhere, not only the industries, but also the day-to-day life that what we are doing it. This is about the future, right? And the prediction is the 2040 humanoid. How many of you know a humanoid before? One. Anyone? Great. What is the difference? Anybody? Anybody else? Humanoid? No? Okay, this is another task. Go and explore what is humanoid. Sorry? Tamil movie? Oh, Endiran. Yeah, correct. Yeah. So humanoid is going to replace humans, the need of human. So this is going to be 2040 or 2050, whatever timeline they are projecting it. So humanoid is advanced level of robot which has an equal brain as us. Little bit more also, because it has an AI inbuilt. And of course, there are companies are investing on improving the human brain also. But humanoid is going to is the intelligence that built with the machines that going to execute whatever things we do or beyond what we can do. And this could be very potential things. I think for me it's very important when we deploy humanoids on the national security services or those areas, because we don't want to lose our people in the border, so we can deploy humanoid. That it's very good things for those cases, but I'm not sure about other use cases. But definitely it's unavoidable. You cannot avoid it. There are machines are there which has more intelligence than today. Even now it's in prototype state, but it's going to be a practical case. You will have a humanoid friend. After that, you will be connected in Facebook. You will be connected with him only. Apart from all your friends, you will be running out of your friends. Then you will have a humanoid friends. How many humanoid followers you have? That's the question will come in 2040, in 20 years down the line. 100% I'm sure you will be facing this. You may note it down. You remember this day, you will see this. How many humanoid followers that you have? So it's going to change. And communication between that is very, very important, right? Because again, we are not going to take a phone and do the things. Don't think that the phone is going to be there. In 10 years down the line, the phone will not be there. 10 years down the line, the phone will not be there. Everything is, you think, you voice, it will give you information. Your phone may become like this watch, or may become like your the AirPod. Yeah. So you don't need anything. You just have it, and you have a glasses that give you all the things. So you don't need a phone. You don't need to put it in your pocket. 10 years down the line, it's going to go off. So the more advanced setups are coming, it's going to replace it. So that time, still the communication has the biggest value on that. Communication is not going to go away. Communication is going to be there. Connected is going to be there. The fundamental of these things, what I am talking, humanoid, human, autonomous, everything is IoT only. The very foundation, the bottom line of that is IoT only. Without that, none of them will happen. Without that, none of the future will happen. So human and robot can talk each other, can instruct it. I may think that I need my robot coming and helping me. The robot will come. You don't need to even talk. How many of you know a company called Neuralink? Good. This is a task. Go and explore what is Neuralink. You should know that, because you are not going to enjoy your current state. It's going to change. You should know that what is coming in future. 10 years down the line, 20 years down the line. Go and explore Neuralink. So this company is innovating way to read the human brain and giving instructions. The advantage of that is without even you talk, if you think, it will happen. It will communicate. It will communicate to the robot. If I think I need my helper robot here, it will come. Even if you don't think, even if you are not thinking, it will sense based on your body language also. Even if you lose your thinking power, it will help you to get, to sense that and help you on that. So human running into the limitless possibilities. As part of that, we are going to create another human like machines, and we are going to advance ourselves. And fundamentally, everything is bottom line is Internet of Things. And this is where we are as a company investing in Internet of Things, because we think that at some point, 10 years down the line, we will rule. We become a fundamental bottom line of the whole innovation happening in the world. So, with that, what's your takeaway? So, somebody came from somewhere, some company, and talked about some IoT. So what is that I'm going to take out of this? So you are thinking about your future, your career, and where you need to grow. You have to invest in 3 areas. Connectivity, very high level. Either you want to talk about networking or wired wireless or other means of that. Okay. So connectivity is a very important thing that you cannot avoid in your career. Intelligence is something you cannot avoid in your career, so you need to invest on intelligence. Then obviously, if these two things are joining together, the autonomous is default. So you cannot avoid it. Either you may be a user or you may be a doer on that. You may build autonomous solutions 10 years down the line, 20 years down the line when you are architect, when you become architect, you will do the autonomous solutions. So it's not something that you can avoid it. All of them is going to come to you. So generally get ready for more computing hardware. If you are interested in hardware, get ready for hardware side of that. Invest more time on learning about hardware solutions. How to build any different hardwares, different process, different things. Ask yourself question what and when and how things are happening so that you get an answer on that. Invest yourself in wireless technologies. It's not going to go away. It's going to be there. Even 2050, it's going to be there. The wireless, only instead of 4G, there may be a 10G there. That's all it is. That's the difference. So you may be using some different way or form of technology, but it's going to be named as a 10G. So 50 years, 30 years down the line, it's going to be still wireless networking is a good opportunity, good growth path. Cloud computing is also not going to go. It may go in between cloud and edge between that, but it's going to be there still. Still, we need large capacity of processing, and the more content we generate, more things are required. AI is important, but more important is not on the cloud. AI on the machine, because we talked about humanoid, right? Humanoid and all, it's not like a cloud talking to cloud and do that. Think about that, a robot talking to the cloud and get the instruction and do that. It will take 5 minutes to do that, and you just kick off the robot and you go and do the work. So basically, that has to have the intelligence inbuilt with that. That means that machine has to have the artificial intelligence capability, correct? That means the AI has to be running on the machine. So this is a huge potential area where if you are interested in AI practice and you wanted to invest your time and effort and your career, you should invest in AI on the machines, not on the cloud. You learn from the cloud, but you need to know how that can run on the machines, especially robots and human-machine interface. Either it's form of robot or digital displays. It's a human-machine interface, which is more like how we can communicate with the machines, or touching or feeling or commanding or whatever be. So invest on that. So whatever your career goal, whatever your interest topic, whatever it is, pick any one of these areas and then invest yourself. So you have a fantastic career till 2015. I don't know how to predict after that, but this is what we are predicting from up to 2015. So 2050, which is obviously next 30 years. After that you will retire with your humanoid. Now questions. Now nobody can leave this room without asking a question. Because I taught almost hour and a half, more than that. So at least you should talk. You should now talk about questions. 100% I know that you have a lot of questions in your mind. As I said, nothing wrong, okay? So you need to practice it. Nothing wrong in asking question, even if it's a stupid question, don't hesitate. If you hesitate, then you are not going to be successful in your career. You are just go to start your career after graduating. So you should ask questions. The more question you ask, the more intelligence you get. So ask questions. Any questions in this area or anything outside of the questions? I will go and sit there, and we will all sit and watch each other. Question. At least 10 questions you ask guys, then we can wind up the session. 10 questions. I need 10 questions. Okay. How many of you? 40, 50 people are there. So 10 questions I need. Sound. I have some hearing problem. Please. Discuss. You guys discuss and ask question. No problem. Okay. 10 questions. Without 10 questions, I am not going to leave it. Any one of you in this room. You need mic? Who is ready to ask first question? Don't hesitate, and we are all going to sit here only. Come on. Give up your fear. Come on, talk. I said right or wrong, doesn't matter. But without 10 questions, I'm not going to leave this room. You cannot leave this room. That's 100% sure. You already discussed everything. Then what is the point in delaying me asking question? Huh? Oh, mic is the problem, huh? Okay, I will sit here. 10 questions, yeah, come on. Yeah. Can you so others can also understand the question.
So what are the risks that is associated with IoTs?
The risk associated with IoTs, lot of failures. So until you know, because if you look at the technology, right, it's the sensing power, the communication, the cloud processing, the storage, retrieving, and then wireless network, all of that, right? So any one of the point could fail in our process when we are doing development or R&D work and all. We have to invest a lot to understand the foundation of that, sensors or communication or processing. Without knowing that, we cannot complete the work. So we have to put more effort to understand it, and probability of failure also is there because during the development, once you develop and test it, deliver, most of the cases it will work. The biggest challenge is in the networking area because of the communication, which is beyond our limit. That's a risk area factor for us. But also the sensing is biggest factor of that. Sensing is not accurate. The entire work that you are doing is not going to be accurate. So sensing is very, very important pieces. Two areas we need to carefully look at that and identify the risk and mitigate the risk before we invest and build the solution for our customers. Next, good question. Next.
I can add that price is also.
Sir, your question is not counted, okay? But you can ask question.
I am not asking any question. Adding up the answer, privacy of
privacy. See, by the way, yes, of course, your concern is correct, but you may not even know that you are losing your privacy. Because by default it will be done.
That is actually right.
Correct.
Privacy is going
Correct.
because of IoT.
Correct. All your information will be already shared. Correct. Any other question? So others can also hear. The corner people are sitting there.
How IoT will be efficient for rural agriculture area?
So, okay, so today, how many of you, if your parents are doing farming, how many of you hear from your parents that I'm not able to get a labor today? Very common today in India itself, right? The labor availability is very, very basic problem today itself, right? And the second thing, right? You may not know when the water source is available. You may not know when the things are going to happen. What is the warm temperature of the soil? So all of them, physically when we are reading it, we may have a lot of possibilities of errors. So the rural agriculture can be enhanced or more successful with the help of IoT by understanding the soil condition, by understanding the condition of the weather, by understanding the weed, other components, by detecting it, removing it, and then even deploying autonomous solution like cutting or pruning, other things and all that can be done with the help of machines. So all of them can be achieved with the help of IoT. So it can help. It helps to enhance it. At the same time, we are replacing the labor, which is already shortage on that. So it's going to be creating problem only for us in food shortage. But with the help of IoT, it's going to solve the problem. So there are a lot of various advantages on that by using IoT in the rural agriculture aspect of it.
So then how the connectivity will be enabled? Because since if it is an IoT, the internet speed should be higher and the communication should be higher. Whether the rural agriculture area will be...
That's a good point. But you also have a local network. You don't need to think about like a wireless network in the sense like, oh, I need to connect to the 4G, 5G network, or cell phone tower is not there. How can I connect and all, right? You can also do a local network, the regional network, which is all free bandwidth that are available for you between you and your mission, and it can communicate 10 kilometers radius and all easily. So you can communicate with that help of that. So there are technologies to adapt that, especially for the agriculture purpose, which called LoRa and other things and all that. But it depends on that also, how much you are investing and building it. Because if you have a small farmland and you want to put investment in that, today's case, it's going to be a huge investment. But if you have a huge farmland and you are a group of farmers together investing on IoTs, then it's a viable solution for them in today's market. But down the line, 5 years down the line, this become very cheaper. Like phone and all, once upon a time, we were buying a smartphone means only rich people will have that. Now everybody has a smartphone, right? Because of the market, the manufacturing cost come down, so we are able to afford it. Or we enhance ourselves, wealthy people. So either way. So same way, the agriculture also, or the adaptability of the technology will become easy when the price of that is coming down. 5 years down the line, it will become very easy for them. But I don't know how many of them will do the agriculture. That's the question. Okay, but it is 100% possible.
Sir, I have another question. How IIoT will be able during disaster conditions, during climate changes and heavy disaster like storms, those cases?
So, end of the day, everything is information. Okay. So today, your weather department, they're predicting it, when the cyclone is going to come. Okay. How they are predicting it based on the data, the history data, right? Similarly, these data are how the data are coming. These data are coming from somewhere. They have some systems to sense the data, collecting it and processing it, and then they're identifying, okay, this is what is going to happen in so and so day, based on the patterns, right? Same way, these data are coming like a periodic basis. Means you have a history of data in some period. But IoT is going to help you to get the real-time data, more real-time, more instant data. So when you get those data, your prediction can be more accurate because you know the real field level information. It's going to get more data for you to predict the disasters. So it's going to help more in disaster prediction than the traditional method that followed so far in the industry. Thank you. Okay, 3 questions down. Good. After hard questions, things are coming now.
Good morning, sir. I'm Amsadurga from EC department. I would like to know about SGX. How do they work and what do they do?
Yes?
SGX.
What is SGS?
Intel is about to implant that SGX in their chips.
Okay. So, okay, this is all about chip market. Okay, the chip market. Again, we talked about a while back. We talked about how the chip is going to come down, right? Compared to the previous computing process, now the chips are very smaller, right? So these chips have become more intelligent, self-intelligence. Even now, the chips are available with AI capability, inbuilt AI capability and all. When you programming it runs. So those chips are going to be embedded into our bodies. That's what I asked you to look at the Neuralink. Go and look at the Neuralink and how things are working in Neuralink, or what kind of research they are working on that. So these chips are going to be embedded in our body to get more information about us, where we are and what we are doing, how our parameters and things. So, of course, the technology, when it's get introduced, it may have impacts on our system, either our health or generally in our system. But over the period, when the technology improves by itself, it's become more viable to adapt it. So that's what is going to happen in that particular segment as well, to adding intelligence to us with the help of the chips that can embed in our body and then get the power on that. So when you want to talk to humanoid, right, you need to understand what humanoid can understand, not only voice, right, but also other mode of communication. This is one of the cases where it will be very helpful on that.
Thank you, sir.
So we all know that 5G technology is arising now, sir. So how the 5G technology and IoT is compatible, sir?
So right now IoT technologies are available in the 4G network itself. It's available in 4G, but it doesn't mean that it should be in 4G, okay? Because if you look at IoT, it's not a volume of the content, okay? It's how much data is getting into. So IoT is made for smaller information sharing, okay? So it doesn't need a 5G network to share the information. Let's take, you wanted to measure the soil temperature, okay? When you measure the soil temperature, there are only few parameters going to come from that, okay? Maybe 10 parameters going to come. And that 10 parameters, if you try to send it to the internet, to your any other servers that you want to send it, you don't need a 5G network. You just have a 2G network to send it. It's only increasing the speeds. 5G will be more adaptable when you're having a streaming of data or high volume of data like a video or autonomous messages and other things and all. The continuous data flowing. But IoT doesn't need that long. But the adoption is very easy. Same way. How we adapted the 4G network with the chipsets, the same way it will come in, but it is necessary? It's not necessary. We can still use a 2G or 3G. But obviously the network may not be available. The provider may not provide that. They are all moving into 5G. Obviously the technology also moving to 5G. So it doesn't need that much power and capability to transmit. But at the same time, if it's available, it can be leveraged also. Especially video streaming. When you're doing more video streaming, that's where it is more helpful on that. Especially autonomous cases. Okay, 5 more questions. Five more questions, please. Any other question? Or can I ask question? Reverse? Yeah.
Hello, sir. Hello, sir.
Yeah.
So you have shared many information beyond our imagination, sir. So I have a question, like if it is possible to bring a dead person alive in future. Like with our IoT and technology, instead of inventing humanoid robots, if we can...
Very good thought process. It's 100% possible, but we don't know whether that person will realize you or not. That's the only question that we have. Because once the person is dead, right? So he is beyond your bond. So he may not know you. He will become liable. We can make that. I think that it's possible. It's going to happen, but he may not know who you are. So that's the question that you need to ask yourself. Whether should I wake up the person or not?
No, sir. The data, the person, the information the person carried will be useful, sir. So if we bring them back, we can get many information with their knowledge, sir.
Yeah. So I don't know whether that is possible because this is, see, end of the day, we are creating tools, right? It's a good question. So we are creating tools. We are not a creator of human first, correct? So that means there are some power beyond our limitation which we cannot understand. This is one of the case. Of course, we can make some person to come back physically, but whether the person will come and share the information of the past, we don't know that. That's beyond our limit. So for that, we need to go to Himalayas only to understand.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you. But it's really good question. Okay, like that. Okay, 4 more questions, please. Four more questions.
A very good morning, sir. I'm Monica from 3rd ECE. Using industrial IoT, will it maintain industrial sustainability?
Definitely yes, but what context? That's a big question. Okay, so are you talking about from the human availability standpoint, or are you talking about more industry availability standpoint? Industry will sustain. Whether we are working there or not, that's a different question. That's what I am answering, that humanoid will replace us, right? So we may not be working in the industry, but industry will be there because we still use other technologies for our living things. So definitely industry will sustain. Whether we sustain or not, that's a question. That up to us only, how we are adapting the technology.
Human resource will sustain.
Human resource will sustain. Maybe a better life. Maybe a better life for everybody, like instead of labor work, going and doing lifting things, it may be handled by the robots, and then everybody can be going by Mercedes Benz. That's a level of thinking. But at the same time, we also need to limit ourselves in terms of certain innovations. So it's all balancing act, how we are going to balance this. Maybe we all go to Mars and then innovate there, stuff here. Put all industries here, humanoid here, and then we'll all go to Mars. That's what Elon is saying, right? Everybody will go to Mars. Let's go.
So one more question, sir. The humanoid robots will replace us or will be assistant to us?
Both. Some cases it will replace us, some cases it will assist us. It's up to us. Yeah, it's up to us how we are adapting it.
Thank you, sir.
And with the rate of our adoption, right, we will definitely replace it. So. Thank you. Okay, 2 more questions. 8 is done. 2 more.
Sir, what is the humanoid stance against us?
Humanist?
Humanoid stance against us.
That's what is that movie name? No. Terminator. 4 will come. 3 only came, right? Last time? Yeah, 4 will come. So when you started using YouTube, did you think about how much I'm using YouTube, how long I'm using YouTube or social media? We are not thinking about that, right? One simple thing we are not thinking about that, how we are leveraging the technology, correct? Same way, if we are not conscious about how we are using the humanoids, definitely they will replace us. They will overtake us. So we need to have the control, but only by our volunteering, by our sense, we need to do it. So our sense we cannot leave it. It's a real challenge in 2050. Definitely it's going to be a challenge. There may be, if some humanoid is against human, there may be some good humanoid will create it and make the war on that. War will be there between them, may not be with human. One more question. Oh, good.
Good morning, sir. I am Balaji from ECE second year. You have mentioned many advantages about this technology, but I want to know about disadvantages of these technologies.
Okay, so as I mentioned, privacy there is no meaning of privacy on that, because everybody will know about you. Ola will know about you. That's a different reason. You don't need to call, but they will come to you, pick you. They will say that you need this. Even you may not know that. So it will come and pick you. So that means you are exposing yourself to everywhere without your consciousness. That's a disadvantage.
If we have any health issues when we are connected with these many devices?
Definitely is going to be there, health issues. And we'll also identify some prevention also on that, some medicine for that also. Anyway, we are not going to stop adapting it. We only adapt it. Then we will realize that, oh my God, we mistake. Then we will adapt another medicine for that. So we will keep adapting it.
Thank you, sir.
Good morning, sir. In future, human robots will replace us. What we will do for survival?
For our survival?
Yes, sir.
That's what I said. We'll go to Mars, everybody. See, somewhere we have to go, right? We are not going to stop anything. As I said, we are not, our brain will not stop. We are not going to stop anything. If we are done with this Earth, we will go to Mars. Everybody will go to Mars. Humanity will survive with the Earth. There is one movie on that also. I don't know whether you watched E.T. That movie is like that. E.T. Or not E.T. Something else like. Wally.
Hello, sir.
Yeah, hello.
Sir, my question is very simple. Who is best, humans or robots?
How many of you, wait, I will ask them. How many of you raise your hands, human is the best? Wow. Okay, you all don't raise both time, okay? How many of you voting for robots? Okay, that's a good answer. So it's going to change. In 20 years we will ask, all the people will say robot only, human will be less. That's what is going to happen. So definitely robots are going to be more intelligent than us. But it's also based on how we are leveraging the technology. So obviously we need to be very cautious on our technology usage. And if we give more power to robots, robot will give more power to us.
Hi sir, as the technology are increasing day by day, how the human relationships are being in future?
Very tough. How many of you connected with your school friends till now? I'm not talking about 12th grade. First standard, second standard? LKG. Who is LKG? Oh, okay. Yeah, that's the answer. So we are going to lose that. Of course, you think how many people raise hands. So we are going to, of course, we are done with people now. Now next thing is we are going to connect with machines. The more we connected with the things, we are going to stay away from the human. That's what is going to happen. Again, it's a conscious decision. It's how you take the technology. End of the day, don't forget, everything is a tool that make us, is helpful to us to give a better life for us. It is not like taking over us. So don't you overuse the technology. Use the technology as a tool, not like it's a god for you. So that's the fundamental things that we need to consciously make, and that should happen. But I don't know how many of the next generation, your child and grandchilds are going to accept that. It's a big question.
Sir, one more question, sir. What is the laziness of human if the technology increases?
It's up to the human, the personality. Okay, not everybody is going to be lazy. Definitely not. Because if you lazy, you will not innovate anything. God is not innovating. We only innovating, right? That means somebody is keep working on that. They are not lazy enough to innovate. If every human become lazy, then the innovation stops there. So since there are people who are all working on the innovations, they are not lazy people who can innovate it, right? So definitely there is a set of people will continue to innovate and work hard. The lazy people also will be there. It's there, but it's the percentage might increase, decrease, depends on how the world is changing. So it's all unpredictable right now. It's all how we are creating the next generation. It's all in your hands. Our hands are done. We generated you guys. You need to think about what you are going to generate the next generation. That has to decide how the human life is going. So easy, yeah.
So is it good for future or not, sir? Increasing of technology.
Definitely good for future. If we stop it, we would have not been sitting in here. Everybody will have wheels. Everybody will run on the wheels. So we are not here. So definitely it's good for us. But as I keep saying that, technology is good for us as long as we are consciously using it. You need to understand that. The conscious, I'm saying this very carefully, you need to consciously use that technology to adapt it. If you blindly use it, like YouTube, right? I asked the question, how YouTube is working, nobody knows that, but you know how to watch YouTube, correct? That's unconscious usage of technology. So you should know that, how you are using it. If you're consciously using it, definitely you will use it wisely.
In future, a lot of regulatory authorities will come for what we
Yeah, humanoid will come and control that. The cops will be humanoids only.
So regarding the question on bringing back humans alive, cryogenics is already under research to bring back humans alive with all the intelligence they already have stored during when they are living.
Human alive?
Yes.
So, the lifetime of human has changed over the years. In the BCs, it was very less, maybe 25 to 30 years of lifetime of human. Then, because of the tools and innovations, we extended our lifetime into 50s and 60s nowadays. But because of that advantage also, the lifetime also coming down because of the overusage of the technology. People lifetime is coming down again to 30s and 40s. So it's all about how we are using the technology, limited level, and at the same time using for our wellness is a question mark on that. So it may help us to live. Let's take this way. If the let's take year 2000, okay? No, not 2000, 2000 BC or 1000 BC, okay? In Chola's period, and those people are living now also. What will happen?
Or maybe they can extend up to certain.
So you want on-off switch. When you don't want that, turn off so that they will pass. When you want, you can turn on so they will continue the life. Is it?
Similarly like a robot.
No, I don't think we should play with that. Okay, technology should not play with human lifetime or keeping the life, because there should be a period for everything, and also the population increase. That's the question. Already there is no space. So if you keep everybody alive, then there is no space for Earth. Then that's what I'm saying, that everybody will go along with Elon. Will go to Mars. So it's a good thought process, but it may not be the solution for the problem.
It could not be possible for everybody, but because it's so expensive.
No, that will come down. That will come down easily. Because every day technology advancement is basically to bring that affordable. The more advanced it's getting into, the more affordable it is. Similarly, if it is affordable, then it is possible. Today it may not be possible, but it is definitely possible.
Thank you, sir.
Sir, how we can implement this AI and automation in education and stuff, sir? These will affect the education.
Definitely not. Definitely we should have that AI and automation in education also. One simple example, right? So when you experimenting something, let's take you are exploring some AND node or NOR node or something like that, right? You have to physically connect, you have to do that. If you have virtual way of using that and then testing it before you adapt it or before you physically do that, that's a virtual way of testing. So virtual reality, virtual AR, VR and all is going to help you. But that's fundamental also is IoT and AI built with that. So it's a way how quickly we can learn. So AI and IoT or any autonomous technology will help us to learn things faster, more advanced, easier than before. That's how we have learned technologies. 20 years back, 30 years back, how we studied with the blackboard, you guys are not studying in the same way. When the blackboard coming, the teacher drawing and then and then teaching us, the way that we can imagine and look at and understand is complex than the way that you are looking at in the projector with the three-dimensional data and then understanding it, right? So that changed. So education has changed over the period. So similarly, today from 3D to virtually, how you are going to learn is going to improve. So you are easily going to understand that education or the courses than today. So it's going to be an advantage. Thank you, sir. Any other question? No more questions, right? Yes.
I'd like to request you to enlighten students on how they can do their projects at this juncture. People are in second years and third years. So by this time they have to work on some projects. So what can they do? So that idea, people may talk on different things, technologies, but at their level they have to do some projects and how it can be initiated, how they can search about the topic, where they can start, a kind of an idea if you would be able to give them. It will be really useful.
Definitely. So this is a big difference when we hire people. When we hire people from colleges, okay, the biggest difference that we are seeing, which you probably should know that, okay, the practical scenarios versus the education scenarios are different, okay. So when you are doing in the education projects, you are taking a theory something and then you are solving that, but it may be already proven, okay. So of course you have a limited time to do the work and you understand what you need to do that and just quickly do that. So try to add some practical cases on that, okay. So whatever you are doing as a project, try to add some practical cases, how it is practically applicable to the scenarios. Then do the project. Because when you are coming to the job and when you are working on the job, you are not going to take the theory part of your learning and then applying that. You are going to take the practical cases that happening in the industry and then solving it. So for the first day itself, you are going to solve problem, which is not going to be the, you cannot read that in any books or anything. You need to think about that. You need to think about how I can solve it. So only if you practice in your college practice projects by doing something that is not already proven, but you wanted to try something different, and that is more practical cases, then you should do that kind of a projects and achieve it, rather than taking the same story and then recreating it. So try to add some kind of a problem solving, innovation, even it is smaller scale. Maybe because of this chip I am going to use that one, or I am going to make small corrections here to make it different. Try it out. It may fail, that's perfectly fine, but if you make it, that create your, solve your or increase your creativity, and that's what very important when you go to the practical cases. When you come to the job and the first task itself is the problem solving task. And that problem, you would have not even read about that in your books, anywhere. And you have to solve the problem. And you may not even know that how to solve the problem. So you need to work on, when you're doing projects, try to add little bit of creativity on that, little bit of practical cases on that, and then solve it. You don't know the practical cases, then go and reach out to people in the industry. There are many forums out there to reach out to the people in the industry. So if you want to talk about a particular project and you want to reach a particular industry, go and reach people already working on the field and ask them, is there any use cases like this? Is there anything that I can solve like this? Is the problem is already solved anywhere? So ask, explore and do that by yourself, okay? Not by the case of finishing the project. It may fail, that's an advantage. The first failure, it will help you to go even bigger. So it's perfectly fine if you are not able to achieve it, or that's the result of it. Like a PhD, right? Even in the PhD, the failure itself is a case. You may not be able to achieve it, yes, that itself is a case. Yes, in this process, if you go there, you cannot achieve it. That's a story on that. Same way in the project. Take some cases that more applicable in the industry, not like a proven like a 10 years back and doing that work. Just add a little bit of spice on that and then try it out. So that if you're successful, then it will help you to improve your creativity, and then you go to the job. You will feel that it's like a hard job. Day one you will solve the problem. And of course, job, especially IT job, is all about problem solving. Nothing else. You may do in Java, Python or C, C++, whatever language you learn. End of the day, you are going to solve the problem. So problem solving is the fundamental for that. And you need to start practicing from that, from your education level itself. And that's why it is practical. Okay, it's a practical. So you need to try it out. Go and talk to your professors. I want to do something addition, that, or I want to change slightly different here. And this is what the story behind that. This is what the use cases. This is what the practical cases. And take it up and do that. The more you practice, the better, easy you work in the projects, and you don't. In the job, your career also will be growing faster. So look at more practical cases. Right up. Thank you so much. Thanks everyone for listening to us, and hope the presentation is informative for you. And of course, welcome to the world of connected world. And we will meet you again soon in another seminar or sessions. If possible, we'll come up with a new different topic that we'll talk about that. Thank you guys. Thanks for listening.
Thank you, sir, for your thought-provoking words and motivating the student community towards the innovative challenge. On behalf of the organizing team, I extend a hearty vote of thanks to all the dignitaries from Factana for gracing this occasion, and also I extend my gratitude to our management and faculty coordinates to make this event a grand success. Thank you all. Have a great day. Kindly raise up for the national anthem.
The students who are for recruitment, both the interns and the final year recruitment, full-time recruitment, stay back, the others can go.
ఈ క్లాస్ రూమ్లో పెట్టి